Two latest national polls show Trump trailing Hillary Clinton by significant margins. In one poll, he's down by 15 points and the other by 9 points. The 15-point gap is the largest since the conventions.
In battleground states, a new series of polls shows that Hillary Clinton is leading by double digits in Pennsylvania and New Hampshire. In Michigan, Clinton is ahead of Trump by 9 points, and in Florida, she is 6 points ahead.
While I am certain we will be excoriated by some for even bringing this up, hey, the facts are the facts. You just saw them. Current polls zeroing in on the coming presidential day of reckoning are coalescing. Hillary Clinton is on the verge of crushing Donald Trump right now. Leads of anywhere from 5 to 14 points or more, depending on the polls. And when the breakdown gets into subgroups, such as those of Latin descent and African Americans, shut the door and walk away. For Trump supporters, they're too ugly to even consider. But unlike most of the various political talk programs we hear at the Hardline are down the middle fair. And we'll point out that this is still the first week in August. Many voters have the attention span of a drunken flea. And the story today could very likely fade into obscurity in about 3 hours in some instances, maybe less, maybe 30 seconds. The polls of today are not the dead set certainty of tomorrow, or at the very least, that's what Trump supporters are hoping. But they do beg the questions. What should be done to turn these numerical nightmares around? And more to the point, how can Trump win back those majority minorities who would seem to have taken the pledge to run, not walk away from anything he's even remotely connected with? For that, you need a specialist. You are invited to drop your comments and quips in here by dialing us up at 1-877-Newsmax. Welcome back. The man with almost 30 years of marketing, branding, and image experience who demands we say almost 30 to keep people from wondering, how old is this guy anyway? President of the M Network in Miami, Florida, who's not in Miami, Thom Mozloom. Good to see you again, Tom.
Ed, thanks for having me back on the show. I appreciate
Pleasure,
it.
buddy. Yeah, we have you back, even though there's that wealth of knowledge. People going, how can you have Mozloom back on? But we do it anyway, just because it's fun. All right, let's get...
I got it. I know my role.
All right, let's get to it here. What I just said here, in your professional opinion, how do you then... You can't get it all back at one shot. You got to at least work to get some of this back. Or is it simply a matter of saying that, look, it's August, and by the time we get to the 1st of September, nobody will remember in the first place?
Well, if the media learned anything from the Republican primaries, it's that Donald Trump is a roller coaster ride. He's going to go down, and when he goes down, he's going to go down big. And when he comes back up, he's going to come back up big. You never know what he's going to say, and you never know how those polls are. We've also seen from the primaries that polls, when it comes to Donald Trump, simply don't matter. I mean, I suspect that at some point there's going to be a lot of people who just say, okay, I'm done with Donald Trump, and I'm going to vote either for Hillary or for Gary Johnson or for something. And I suspect there'll be a lot of people that do the same with Hillary Clinton. I think you're going to see an enormous amount of people not vote for either one of these candidates because they're just so unlikable. I mean, let's be honest. When Michael Moore comes out and says nobody's excited about voting for Hillary Clinton, that says a lot for that side too. But I would buckle up. It's going to be summer's. It's going to be a long, hot end of the summer and start to fall as we get into this thing.
But what does Donald Trump do at this point? Because let's face it, the guy does not apologize. I mentioned this in the last segment. It's like the old Arthur Fonzarelli bit from Happy Days. He can't say he cannot spit out the W word and can't apologize for anything. If he were, let's just say for giggles here, Donald Trump came out and said, okay, look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean this. I apologize. I got it wrong, and actually says the word out loud. From that image and branding standpoint, to get him back out there and into the race, do you think it would make any difference?
No, nobody's going to. That's not who Donald Trump is. What Donald Trump has done very well this cycle is be Donald Trump. He has remained 100% true to form.
Yeah, but he's tanking in the polls, though.
Consistency.
But he's tanking in the polls. That's the whole thing. I get it. And that's what people will say. We want Donald Trump to remain Donald Trump. That's the guy that we voted for in the primaries, and we love him. But he's still tanking in the numbers, and that's with a lot of these people I mentioned, including independents.
A poll that comes out today is a snapshot of today. It is not a snapshot of November.
There you go.
And that's what people have to remember. And with somebody who is apt to say, as psychotic things as Donald Trump is apt to say, you're going to see radical shifts in polls. I mean, he's going to come out next week and criticize Mother Teresa, and his numbers will go down to the tank. And then he'll come back the following week and criticize somebody else, and his numbers will go through the roof. That's what we've seen of this guy.
Does he need to? And again, you're the guy who deals in marketing and branding here. The numbers are horrible for those of Latin descent, Hispanic descent, African Americans especially. They're awful. They're almost down to nil.
That's not his target audience.
Okay,
Donald Trump is running as a populist.
But he needs them in order to get elected.
Why?
Because those people are part of the United States and they have a vote.
This is the dirty secret nobody's talking about. Donald Trump is a racist. He is playing for the white vote. White people make up 67% of this country. He needs them to come out. Now, the Electoral College is a different issue. I think that's against him in this strategy. But that's the strategy he's playing. He's looking for guys who are in bowling alleys and bars in the middle of America to say, heck yeah, I'm voting for him. He talks like me. And he's done an unbelievable job of getting them out.
But are they enough to win an election?
Well, conventional wisdom would say no. However, what's conventional about this guy? Are they enough to win an election? He just won the primaries. Wasn't that enough? I mean, the guy can actually win this thing. And I know that's great news for some and horrific news for others, and nobody's in the middle on that issue. But this guy could actually still win this election. I don't think all is over, and I don't think that people should start dancing and saying, okay, Trump's done.
No, I agree with you there, because already the Clinton or the Hillary Clinton supporters are coming out saying, look, don't get complacent at this point. And there's another side of this whole coin we haven't talked about, because Hillary Clinton is taking away some of her TV ads in certain states, even lessening what she's doing in Colorado right now, because people believe she's got that locked up. Look, let's talk history here for a moment. If you think you got it locked up, it's August and we're getting to November. That could possibly be one of the dumbest things you could possibly do in a political season.
Either one of these candidates can blow up at any minute. Either one of them. I mean, there's still all this sort of mess out there about the Clinton Foundation. There's still a lot of things going on with Hillary that we don't know. And Donald Trump is just as bad. He might say something really bizarre. I mean, if you think you've heard him now, he might come out with some unbelievable stuff as he gets desperate and the election gets closer. So, like I said, man, I think you strap into your 5-point harness and watch this thing unfold. This is unlike anything I've ever seen, and I've done presidential politics now going on 12 years.
Let's get a couple of quick phone calls in here and comments. Rich in White Plains, New York. Rich, you do not think Donald Trump can change. 30 seconds. Tell us why.
Ed, anyone who says at this point Trump has to change must think the electorate has the attention span of goldfish, or that maybe we're all related to Forrest Gump, because Trump has consistently showed the public who and what he is for over a year now. The same person who said Hillary will make a good Secretary of State. The term pivot should stay on the basketball court when it comes to Trump, because no one's going to believe it.
Be very careful how you insult goldfish like that, young man, because there's probably going to be a union out there, and the ASPCA will be all over you for that. Thanks so much for the call. Maggie's in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Maggie, you think Donald Trump is doing just fine. The polls tell us differently.
I think he's doing fine, but he needs to concentrate on getting back at Hillary, stop honing in on what Democrats and Hillary has to say, disregard that, and put like a double barrel toward her with what she's done wrong. Like things like when Bill sold uranium
Well, but that's
China.
Bill Clinton. Maggie, I get it, but that's Bill Clinton here. I mean, let me turn to Tom here. Tom isn't this part of it? Don't go after Bill Clinton. Go after Hillary Clinton. That's his opponent.
You can't win an election with a 100% negative strategy. That doesn't work. At some point, Donald Trump is going to have to get back to talking about what he's going to do. And if you think about it, those were the messages that worked best for him. Whether you like it or not, build a wall. Yeah, that's something tangible. We can do that. I mean, it doesn't matter how silly that is, because Mexicans have boats but that's a different story, different subject. But you have to go back to, I'm going to build a wall, I'm going to get jobs,
Go
I'm
back,
going to do this.
Go back to what started
and
it.
go after Hillary.
Gotcha.
The other thing that Donald Trump needs is an attack dog. He needs somebody else screaming.
Hang on, I got to get this in there. I only got 45 seconds left. I need to get your opinion on this. Oxford University, Department of Experimental Psychology, the Great British Psychopath Survey, the top 10 professionals with the most psychopaths. Number 1, CEO. Number 2, lawyer. And number 3, media, TV, radio. Tom, give me your professional opinion on this, if you could, in 20 seconds, please.
I've held 4 of the jobs on the 10 that are on the psychopath list. don't think I'm qualified.
Well, of course you're qualified because, look, we're all psychopaths here. We all want to.
Clearly.
Well, yeah, that's what the British tell us. What do the British
Have you
know?
seen what we do for a living?
Have you seen what some people do on television, young man? You know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? And some of you guys, too. I got it right there. Thom Mozloom, the M Network. Always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for joining us. We're all in trouble now. We appreciate that. Take care, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Again.
All right, that's okay. It's all right. We got you covered. Quick programming note. If you watch Newsmax TV on DirecTV, we're moving our primetime shows to channel 366 in another week. You can begin watching us there now, so check us out on 366, channel 366. Make sure you join us there. Other side of the break, joy to the jobs report, until you dig a little deeper into what it all really means. Fear not, I've had my psychological exam for the month. We're back after this.